So after Manchester United's 3-1 defeat to Arsenal yesterday, Erik Ten Hag in his post-match press conference was asked about why Jadon Sancho wasn't in the starting squad or on the bench. And he turned around and said that Jadon Sancho hadn't been performing well enough in the training for the week prior to the game. Now, Jadon Sancho decided to completely disrespect the manager and come out to social media with this statement. And for me, I've just got to say this is a complete embarrassment. It's disrespectful. It just shows that what type of person Jadon Sancho actually is. Now, here's some training footage of Jadon Sancho as well this week. And apparently Jadon Sancho, in his statement, said that he conducts himself very well in training. Now, that clip alone just tells you that that is completely wrong. Now, I understand it's only a 5-second clip, but realistically, he feels like he conducts himself well in training when he can't even do a push-up properly. So with a manager like Erik Ten Hag, who's methodical, who's crazy with his tactics, and who will want and demands 120% of every single player, Jadon Sancho isn't going to be picked for that reason. And for me, I believe that's exactly why Erik Ten Hag dropped him. Now, I want to give Erik Ten Hag some praise here because Erik Ten Hag, we know this. He's dealt with disciplinary issues in the past. You think to Alejandro Garnacho to the start of last season, he didn't have a pre-season tour with us because Erik Ten Hag turned around and said that he wasn't ready and didn't have the correct mentality. Cristiano Ronaldo, we saw the situation, but how that unfolded, and Erik Ten Hag dealt with it very, very well. You think back to Marcus Rashford. Marcus Rashford turned up late to training, and Erik Ten Hag dropped him when that was in a point in time when Marcus Rashford was scoring goals for fun. And what happened in that game alone? Marcus Rashford came on off the bench against Wolves and scored 2 goals in Manchester United's 1-0 win against the team, but one of Marcus Rashford's goals was redeemed as offside. But with Jadon Sancho, I just want to say that I'm not going to sit here like TalkSport or other pundits or other media outlets talking about like Jadon Sancho is a bad player, because for me, I don't think he is. I think we've got a very good player, but I think the mentality is a bit of an issue. And the reason why I give Erik Ten Hag a bit of praise is because with Erik Ten Hag, you think back to halfway through last season when Erik Ten Hag gave Jadon Sancho 2-3 months off and took him out of the spotlight to let him reset his batteries, go on a private training camp and work on his game. Not many managers would do that. Not many managers would let a player work on themselves and let them come back a more refreshed version of themselves. But Erik Ten Hag did that. And I feel like Jadon Sancho has completely thrown that back in Erik Ten Hag's face, and that's where it comes to the disrespect. Now, I've got an article here on my laptop that Jadon Sancho, this isn't the first time Jadon Sancho has been punished by his club due to disciplinary issues. And this was at his time at Dortmund. And the article says, by the ESPN, Jadon Sancho suspended by Dortmund for late return from England duty. Jadon Sancho has been suspended by Borussia Dortmund's coach Favre, I think is how you pronounce it, after returning late from international duty with England. Sancho was not included in the Dortmund team for the match, and the club's official Twitter account posted that the exclusion was down to disciplinary measures. What does that have to tell you? That was in 2020. So it's clear Jadon Sancho has shown disciplinary issues in the past, and clubs like Manchester United under Erik Ten Hag and clubs like Borussia Dortmund won't tolerate that. You think back to why he was suspended against Manchester City when he was in their youth academy all them years ago. It's clear Jadon Sancho thinks he's a lot higher and above what everyone else thinks. And what also annoyed me about Jadon Sancho's statement is that, one, it's completely gone behind the club's and manager's back, but he talks about how he feels like he's been a scapegoat and the fact that he conducts himself very well in training. You should be doing that anyway. That shouldn't be a reasoning for you to say that in your statement. If you think you're conducting yourself very well and that's why you've been dropped and you think it's down to other measures and other matters, then for me, that's where the issue is here, because he feels like he's doing the bare minimum and he should be rewarded for that. But in a team like Manchester United, and especially with a manager like Erik Ten Hag, you're going to have to put in the extra work. You're going to have to be that player like Cristiano Ronaldo was all them years ago, where you're the first player on the training pitch and the last one to leave. If you want to be the best, and if you want to be one of the first players on that team sheet in the starting 11, you need to have the mentality, the work ethic, and the desire to be an Erik Ten Hag Manchester United player. Because this category of players, what Erik Ten Hag is trying to mould into Manchester United, is starting to work. Marcus Rashford, we saw how much he improved last season. Luke Shaw, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Alejandro Garnacho, the list goes on. And Jadon Sancho does not fit in that category, in my opinion. You look at Anthony. Anthony's now starting to work on his game, where he's tracking back a lot more. He's now trying to be a bit more creative. Now, yes, I understand the process is long and slow, but give Erik Ten Hag time. Stop giving him criticism, and the fans that are backing Jadon Sancho, then if you are watching this video, then I would like you to leave your comments down below and talk to me why you defend Jadon Sancho in this particular moment. Because for me, I cannot see any given way that why you should back Jadon Sancho at this moment in time. This is why we should back Erik Ten Hag. He's our manager. You think back to before we signed Erik Ten Hag as our manager, the club and the media were pushing for Pochettino. And what happened? The fans spoke out. We asked for Erik Ten Hag and we got our man. And as a United fan, who I can only speak for myself, I talk about why I have a special bond with Erik Ten Hag, because he's our manager. And that's all I've got to say. So I back Erik Ten Hag. I think Jadon Sancho is being a complete child at the moment. And for a 23-year-old who hasn't even been called up for England for our current international break, I think that says it all. But anyway, thank you for watching. Leave a comment on the video and subscribe if you are new. Thank you for watching.